Kathleen Carol Dunne. No next to kin. It might feel strange being back here, Kathleen. You could see it as a fresh start instead. If you make different choices, things could be a lot better for you. Great opportunity. Better than most.
Hazel Doupe and Eva Birthistle, is that I got that right?
You did.
Oh, wonderful.
Good start.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Thank you for the experience of Kathleen Is Here. How do you describe the story?
Well, the story is about a girl who's aging out of care in Ireland, and she's sort of been through the system. She has, her mother's just died, and she's been brought back to the town that she grew up in to sort of move back into the home that she grew up in, and her mother's not there anymore, and she's got no real parental figures, and she sort of makes a relationship with the neighbour in the form of like a maternal bond.
I couldn't have managed on my own at her age.
I like your necklace.
It's supposed to make your wishes come true.
You don't know the first thing about her, Dee.
Have I something to be concerned about, Kathleen?
It's an amazing performance. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Why was this story important to you?
It sort of morphed into this story. It started slightly differently when I first sort of came up with an idea about a young girl struggling with grief, but also I was toying the notion of how, sort of how she was losing herself in reality TV and how she balanced her so-called reality life compared to her actual life. And then it sort of morphed into becoming more about somebody who's actually coming out of care, because I came across a vlog and was really struck by a story of a teenage girl in America who's going through the system with various foster families, and she was putting out her own very, very personal vlog. And I was really sort of curious as to why she felt the need to do that, the impact of that. And it just sort of set me on this sort of train then of sort of looking at how that particular juncture when young adults are coming out of care and how they're expected to integrate back into a normal life, and sort of merging that with the whole reality TV and Instagram and the Insta life that people put across, and I just thought that was something I found very interesting, and then it became about Kathleen.
10 years it became.
10 years, yeah. It took me to get to that point, exactly. So that's where we ended up with this, yeah.
As I said, your performance is amazing. How do you prepare for this? I mean, seeing the words on a page and then actually following through as an actor, you've done amazingly well, but where do you start researching this or feeling this?
I mean, there was just so much on the page to work with, thanks to Eva. Like, it was really just, it's so gripping from the very first word. And she's such an affecting character. And I think I came into contact with Kathleen when I was like 16. Yeah. So I've been living with her for the last like 6-7 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And she's just always been in the back of my mind, whether or not we had something to work towards. I knew that we were working towards a feature, whether that was coming imminently or long in the future. And so she sat with me for years and years and years. And in my prep for actually shooting, we met with Martin Heaney from Heal.
Yeah, in Derry.
You met a lot with him in Derry, and they're a holistic educational program for adults who are aging out of care. And to hear those stories of fresh 18-year-olds just on the cusp of adulthood who have to deal with such challenging life circumstances, and to have to do that before so many of the rest of us have to do that, the time restraints on it, and the necessity for it to be done immediately before they're ready in most cases.
Do you want me to kill them for you? I won't tell if you won't.
She's trying to ruin me, us.
I like it better when it's just the two of us.
I'm here now, Kathleen.
Kathleen, do you promise? This is the good bit.
So is there like a hope or a message that you're hoping for?
I mean, I suppose what I felt from the start, before we sort of went into actually making the film, when I thought about what are my expectations, what's what would I hope for, and it was an area that I knew very little about. So I thought, well, even if it's just to shine a light on that particular juncture, that can potentially will at the very least provoke a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's all I think you want from, or all you can ask for from as a filmmaker, is that it provokes a conversation. Whatever happens beyond that, who knows? And yes, it'd be great if it changed something, but we never sort of know that going into any of that. So I think as long as people talk about it, and because I think from when I was explaining the story to people before I made it, the sort of most common response was, I never even thought about that time in a young adult's life. And I hadn't either. So I thought, well, it's because it's not talked about. So it's hopefully giving a bit of a voice or a bit of a light on a subject matter that just doesn't normally get it, or people who don't normally get the opportunity to speak about it. That's all we can hope for, I suppose.
Working alongside Claire Dunne, I mean, your obsession in the film, I mean, perhaps an obsession as an actor, working with her as well.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was absolutely sublime. She's magic to watch, and to be able to see her on screen, and then to be able to actually be in a scene with her and watch her pull my heartstrings and be almost taken out of what we were doing. At the side of that, it was really, really magic. She's such a sensational human being, an actor. Yeah.
And Eva, finally, this is an Irish film. So much of it is Irish, but it didn't have to be, really, I guess.
No,
it's not an Irish story.
No, quite right. I think it's a global story, and I sort of purposely in the script, it's the city. It's terms of the city, which could be, because I thought, well, do I write Dublin? When I used to live in Dublin, I thought, well, actually, if I just keep it sort of vague and broad in general, then it should feel like this town, Kilcarran, which is a fictional town, could be anywhere. I mean, like I say, I was inspired by a girl who's in America. Like, the story's global, so. Hopefully, I mean, I love the fact that we shot in Ireland.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We love that you did too. Yeah, you could have done it anyway.
Could have done it anywhere, exactly. Yeah. And we shot in Balbriggan, which was amazing. Which is like up the road, and just a fabulous place to film in. The people were amazing. Everything was very amenable, and it suited our tiny little shoot, so well. And again, it looks beautiful, and with the sea, with the lighthouse, and so Balbriggan rocks.
It keeps on getting.
It does. But it could be anywhere. So hopefully that kind of global story.
But thank you for making an Irish film, and thank you for making the film.
Thank you for watching
it. Congratulations. It's wonderful. Your work together is amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.